And joining us now is, I don't know what to say, author, model, TV host, everything successful, bestseller. I mean, everything that, Padma Lakshmi has done. So there's no need of introduction as such. But it's nice to meet you in person. I just want to understand from your perspective, uh, you're supporting Kamala Harris. Why should people vote for Kamala Harris?
I think they should vote. Do you want me to talk in here?
Talk in there, yeah.
I think they should vote for Kamala Harris because she's competent, she's consistent, she is an honorable person, and she's always done her best her whole professional life for the people she served, either in California or the whole nation as a senator and now as vice president. I think she's a great candidate. I think she's a very serious woman who also is warm and cares about the average American, all average Americans. And I think the alternative is atrocious. I think he's been, as a survivor of sexual assault, he has been proven in a court of law to be guilty of that. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. And so on behalf of all our little boys and little girls in this country, what message are we sending to them if we're saying that somebody who has been convicted of sexual assault in a court of law is okay to be president of the United States? No, they're not okay. We need an example of somebody who's honorable and has character and a sense of ethics and humanity. And Donald Trump possesses none of those things. And Kamala Harris possesses all of those things, along with a career's decades-long history of public service, working for her citizens. It's just that simple. It's gun control. There's, women's right to choose. There's education. There's so many things. There's healthcare. There's the environment. On all these issues, if we want to protect this country and all of its citizens, there's no other choice than Kamala Harris.
Now, it is obviously, you've said all the things I wanted to ask you, but then...
Can I go?
But then, there are people who are still holding their vote. They're not sure why they should vote for Kamala Harris. What would you tell them? Like, the swing state voters, we're in Pennsylvania, independent voters. What would you tell them?
I would say voting for Kamala Harris is voting for a better future for your children or your nieces or nephews or whomever. It's also sending a message that we want a person who is not a liar, at the very least, and is a caring person who's dedicated their life to this country.
Now you're from
That's what I'd say.
You're from Tamil Nadu, so is the vice president.
Yes.
Have you guys ever talked about that at all?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I've known her over the years and in different situations, and we talk about it. We used to talk about food. She loves to cook, and her grandfather lived right around the corner from my grandfather, so I know exactly where she comes from, and that's very much a part of her. Her Indian roots are really a part of her because she was raised by Indian women,
right.
And you can see it in her mannerisms. You can see it in how she speaks. And it's very basically, voting is a choice in this election between hate and love. If you want to shoot a path, vote for a path for hate and division in our country, there's your answer. If you want to move forward and choose love and empathy and kindness towards all of us that share this land, vote for Kamala Harris, I would say.
And a lot of people back home in India, they know who you are, they obviously, love you. And so what would you tell them? You have a huge fan following in India, obviously. So what would you tell them? Because they have relatives who live in the U.S. So what would you tell them about
I would say, honestly, if you have relatives that live in America and you think they're not sure they're voting, because of taxes or something, you don't have to live in this country to make your voice heard. You can absolutely get involved and call, because if Trump gets in office, that's going to affect the whole world.